We didn't set a record, but. All right, visitors' remarks. Henry.
Good morning. The America 250 Bradford County team had its inaugural meeting on May 23rd. We are fortunate to have a group of interested persons that represent the county, local government, tourism, the Heritage Region, the county museums, the DAR, libraries, and several citizens who want to be involved. Robin Cummings from the Bradford County Tourism Promotion Agency reported at our last meeting that she recently attended a regional meeting of tourism agencies, and the general sense among the group was that they are all struggling in their areas moving this initiative forward. Robin was pleased to announce to the group that we have a very active group in Bradford County that meets regularly and that we have plans in place for the semi-sesquicentennial year. Matt Carl has added this group to the Bradford County Historical Society website, and we have a Facebook presence thanks to Matt. So far, we've been putting together a list of items that we plan to accomplish in 2026 to include a year-long display in the courthouse of historic panels for each town and township in Bradford County. This would also include the courthouse decked out in patriotic funding for the year. Produce an updated version of the Bradford County Historic Marker Booklet that will be available to all citizens of the county. Install a plaque in the courthouse to memorialize the Revolutionary War soldiers that settled here and are buried in our county cemeteries. This group has not been recognized in the past. Pull-up display banners to be displayed across the county in libraries, schools, museums, borough, and village offices that will give a snapshot of our rich history. Pay is for Keystone, a program to read to elementary students across the county in 2026 from a book that tells Pennsylvania history on the student level. We hope to include retired teachers and a literacy program in this initiative. Janine Goulash from Senator Yaw's office will be working with the Arts Council to put together a program of historic portrayals of early Bradford County residents to be taken across the county to theater, schools, community groups, etc. We hope to encourage the local towns that have concert series to have a patriotic concert during the year. Fireworks on the 4th of July, Saturday, July 4th, 2026, will be a day of celebration in Towanda at the courthouse. There will be activities, and this day will end with fireworks on the river. The events are in the early stages of planning for that day. We just finished the Liberty Tree project, which turned out to be a momentous event for the county. This was a well-attended patriotic ceremony and was the start of our events for 2026. We are in the planning stages for the Liberty Bell project. The hope is that we can place a replica Liberty Bell in the county. The bells are on each side 3 feet by 3 feet, and we'll have an artwork from a local artist applied to the exterior. We are just getting started with this project and will be announcing more details soon. There are other things that we have been talking about, such as a Susquehanna River tour that tells the amazing story of General Sullivan's march to Bradford County up the Susquehanna River. There will be more to come on this, and I'm sure more items will be added to the list as we proceed. The budget we have put together for the events planned so far is about $45,000. Some of these events we have already got covered, but there are some big ticket items such as the fireworks. Dave Jarrett from Sarahborough, who orchestrates fireworks in Sarah several times a year, is negotiating with the fireworks company for us. It looks like it'll be about $20,000, and that will require a down payment. In January, we'll be putting a letter together to send out to every possible concern in the county to take out sponsorships for the year. This will be done under the auspices of the county commissioners, the Bradford County Historical Society, and America 250 PA, Bradford County. The Bradford County Historical Society is the lead agency for the year and will be where the business for the anniversary year will be transacted. We are asking the commissioners for financial support for things that we may need a down payment on, such as the fireworks, with the hope that donors will support us in our efforts. Matt Carl and I will be attending commissioners' meetings monthly in 2026 to keep you abreast of our programs and events, and our meetings are open to interested persons. Please follow us on Facebook to keep up with our activities.
Thank you, Henry, and I will tell you that was a really neat event up there in the park, having that commemoration of the Liberty Tree. And then when you stop and think, and a lot of people, that was a cutting from a cutting. It was cutting from a tree in Maryland that was actually an original cutting from the tree in Boston.
That is amazing.
It is. It's really neat.
And I water it every Saturday.
That's good.
Well, we're lucky to have you guys doing this too, by the way. I don't know if every county has a Matt and a Henry, but we're thankful for the work you guys are doing in the other teams too. I mean, it's just amazing.
Doesn't sound from Robin like they do. She said they're really struggling.
And that you might mention that, and I've heard that before, but we're one of the ones that are way ahead, and it's because of you, your leadership, and the team you put together.
And your love for history.
Yep.
Hey, so I don't know if you've said it in this room before, but if you haven't, I'm going to ask you one more time to tell the press here about where the first white people stepped in. I think that is.
Well, what I said in the event is that, Pennsylvania is saying it all started here 250 years ago. Bradford County can say it all started here 409 years ago, because the first white man to set foot in what is now the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania did so at Spanish Hill 409 years ago, and that's Etienne Brule, who Camp Brule is named after. And he was a scout for Champlain and came down through here and did extensive maps and all kinds of interesting things of the area. So,
So it started here way before.
It started before, yeah, we were here first. So Bradford County is the leader.
It was really amazing, quite frankly. And that was in 16.
It was 409 years ago.
Yeah, whatever I can remember. Quick math, do the math.
16, I think.
16. Yeah, isn't that amazing?
So quick question, just for everybody. The Facebook group for for Bradford County's America 250 initiative, what is the name of that Facebook group?
America 250 PA-Bradford County.
Thank you. And
Everything
then
we're doing will be posted there.
okay, great. And it's a public group, people can join, okay. And then secondly, thank you. On behalf of many county residents who, like myself, whose forebears fought in the Revolutionary War, thank you for what you're going to be doing for that plaque. It's long overdue, and I'm glad you're going to be doing that.
And America 250 is sending us more of the Bradford County signs. I asked how, where we could get more made, and she said, we'll send you all you want. So, and they're all sending to pins, so you guys will all get a pin.
Thank you.
I think the county commissioners, I don't think I know, we're going to be involved right with you, and we want updates as often as you can give them. And we ask people to pay attention to when these activities are, because I think they're going to be completely
It's a
interesting.
big deal.
You hang around with these guys, and you're going to learn more stuff about our county than you ever imagine what happened here.
Some stuff you don't want to know. Some stuff you don't want to know.
Particularly, I would ask that our school districts take note of what is happening, and please, to the extent you can, coordinate, because there's opportunities for schools to be involved with this. And whether it is our public schools, our private schools, our homeschoolers, please be involved in this. It is imperative that our young people understand the importance of what took place now going on 250 years ago.
The schools are receptive, but we need to approach them. When we did the reading program for Snyder, he was amazing that day. That was one of the first ones that were done at KS for Keystone. And it was, they asked for it, and it was very well received. And I think any of the schools will be that way, but we need to go to them. They don't always know what's happening.
And always make sure that our private schools and homeschoolers are aware as well, because they're an important piece of the puzzle too.
Yeah, adults get involved, right? That was fun up to Snyder, too. There's a lot of people there. That was very well attended. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Hugh?
Yes, good morning. I wanted to bring something to your attention. On September 23rd, the board sent a revised set of bylaws, some of which would take effect within the next month or two if they're approved. But I guess the question I have is, because the board has already approved them, can we go by them, or do we need to wait for feedback from the commissioners and the solicitor?
I would imagine that the bylaws technically have to be approved by the
Right,
commissioners.
because you have to sign off on it.
And we have not formally done that yet.
But I appreciate you bringing it to our attention. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question that's going to drive me nuts.
Drive me nuts or drive you nuts?
Both. No. Kelly Diefenbach. I'm sorry if I'm saying her name wrong.
Diefenbach.
There's no grade set to her. Was that just an oversight on the
It's
printing, or
probably
is
just
there? Okay.
Most of the time with our correctional officers,
It may be
we
because
do.
she's training, I'm guessing.
I know most of the time with the correctional officers, I do not get a grade.
Okay. It just was a little thing. I had mentioned to at least one of the commissioners, and I think the library has mentioned it a couple of times, that the lights outside the library aren't functioning correctly, particularly the ones next to the building. They're humming horribly and they don't actually light up.
We did our maintenance people
Okay,
look at it.
that
I
would
know
be
we
great.
did we did reseal the parking lot and stuff, so we'll get
So,
them.
yeah, the director needs to take care of that. You got a direct hotline, the maintenance guy, and he'll go right over and take care of it. It doesn't need to come through here.
But just to echo, so first of all, yes, and thank you for bringing that again to the attention. I think we'll try to follow up as well. But just a reminder, the seal, was it the seal coating
Yes.
that got done? The
Yeah.
seal coating is done now at the library.
And the
As of-
handicap doors will be going in as soon as they
So
can
my
schedule
understanding is that those doors, we're just waiting for a time that the installer is able to get here. So the doors have been ordered.
Okay, that was-
It's just a matter of getting, that was what Garen indicated
Yep.
yesterday.
The handicap doors have been something that's been in the works for years. This is
I believe the line has been pulled, the electric has been pulled to it so that it's ready. It just, we need to get the installer a time to get in there.
Just so everybody knows, I mean, each
Excellent.
department head can fill out a work order. If they have something that needs to be done, it's handed into our maintenance director, and then they take care of it. The only time that we need to hear anything at all is if it's not being addressed.
But certainly we'll follow up with that.
Okay, thank you. The election board meetings, I saw that they weren't on the agenda. Since the election board doesn't meet that often, the main board should be approving the minutes.
The election board is a separate board.
Underneath you guys.
They are an election, we are the election board.
So your point is that,
I was just wondering why they weren't being approved at this meeting. Is it maybe the next meeting?
of the election.
Just sending a meeting of the election
How
board.
often does the
They're
election board
separate,
meet?
they're separate boards.
so they can be added to a Thursday, like one of our, Thursday meetings as commissioners. And certainly we did that last time. I don't think there's an obligation that it be done.
It's actually, even when we do that, it is a separate board.
Correct.
Well, so the election board is underneath the commissioners.
The election board
Well,
is
we,
separate.
we're trying, I think we're maybe talking past each other. Your Board of Elections is set forth in the Elections Code, and in a county like this, your Elections Board is formed by your Board of Commissioners, unless it's an election year and one commissioner is
When we're running.
in which case then there has to be an appointment of somebody else.
From a judge. Yeah.
But, so it's not that the Board of Election is under the commissioners, it's that it is existing sort of on its own, but it is formed by the commissioners.
Right.
I don't want to.
We
Typically,
actually
it's
function two different separate
Correct.
roles.
Correct.
Out of curiosity, do the commissioners have to be on the board during non-election?
Don't have to be, but
It could
typically
be
they normally
You
are.
guys can appoint somebody else. Okay.
It could
That's
be
what I was-
if there was a need to abstain or there was a feeling that somebody couldn't serve or operate. So for example, if one of us got, sick to a point that we were unable to perform
You
the
could pick
function,
somebody
we could
else.
seek to have somebody else do that.
Or if we're on a ballot or another position.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And thank you for deliberating during the elections. I know it's a separate board, but I'm saying it here because you are all on it. Thanks for deliberating during the meeting. We got to see, I think, for the first time, you guys deliberating, and that was good to see. So, thank you.
James?
As far as that letter of support for White Sox Township.
Yes.
And the grant that they're applying for, is that for their salt shed?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Correct.
And can you comment about the new the members of the board of directors of the redevelopment authority that you just appointed?
Mm-hmm.
Like you said that it looks like they have from a diverse area in the county.
Backgrounds and geographically throughout the county.
But is there anything else you want to say about them and their qualifications and?
Well, just we want to thank them for their interest in serving in this capacity and their experience to be able to bring to the table to this new entity that we're creating to address, blight issues throughout the county, particularly in some of your municipalities. But that's what this redevelopment authority is going to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Is there, as far as their experience?
It's part of the land bank, the whole land bank
Well,
that's being created.
you can look at, if you look down through the list, just a few. Kyle Lane used to be the Towanda Borough manager, right? And
Yeah.
Matt Allen's our treasurer.
Okay.
Scott Williams serves on the planning commission.
Mission, yep.
So just, you've got a kind of a breadth of experience and locations that they kind of all hail from in the county.
Well, actually, Kyle's with the library.
Now, he used to be, I said.
Okay.
So, I mean, you've got a lot of experience, and hopefully this redevelopment authority will be able to help communities. I mean,
That's
communities.
right.
This is not a top-down thing, but really to help the communities address some of their issues with blighted properties. I'm looking at Mayor Farley over there. I'm sure he is delighted to have
We are
this.
thrilled that this is happening because it is so hard to deal with blighted property in individual communities. This is great. It's one of the best things that's come from the county.
So one of the other things we've done is separate than this is started that our first-time home buyer purchase. Bill Farley, your brother, just told me we've done like 250. I don't know the exact number because I thought like 180, but we're like almost 250, I think, houses that we've helped go into communities and families that bought them, whether they were rentals, and put them back into, back into single-family homes and help strengthen neighborhoods. And he has done such a good job with that. You couldn't ask for a program to work any better than that has. And just for you guys, remember that they have to be approved by a bank, they have to have good standing credit, they have to have work. This is different than what caused the 2008 crash. Completely different. This is actually the opposite. This helped a lot of single moms and dads and people that are struggling to get a home and do it the right way. So it's terrific. It all comes from natural gas.
And it's upgrading our housing stock at the same time.
So I think in Sarah, you guys have a housing shortage on that.
We do, even the dumps in Sarah getting bought and rehab because there's no place for people to go.
Cool.
Just a brief statement.
When's the Christmas parade? That's on Black Friday, right?
The Friday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we'll have one more meeting between now and then, but everybody should plan to go up, and that's a massive, wild Christmas parade. Please. You need to go, Sheila. Watch Elias and Patrick get a coal shovel candy. So you only get about 2 blocks and you're out of candy.
Is Chris Caden, is he a Cerebral Code Enforcement Officer? Okay.
Does an excellent job.
And Clint Keller?
I don't personally know Clint.
Enterprise?
So Clint owns, him and his wife own the Enterprise
That's it,
Center,
yes.
which they've done an outstanding job with that Enterprise Center.
He's a real businessman. It's
Yep.
the largest fish tackle business in the United States.
That's right.
I forgot about that. I
That's
just think
right.
about him being owner, but that is so impressive. And hopefully they do tours someday. And I think it started in his dad's garage, maybe.
In November, they're having an open house there.
What day in November?
10 to 3, the 9th of November.
And they're gonna have vendors and stuff in there. November 9th, 10 to 3. That's terrific.
And that fish tackle business is right in the Enterprise Center. Yeah.
It's amazing.
It really is. Gonna put everything back on the tax rolls, right? So that's just a success story all the way around.
Well, and there's just gonna be 5 members of the board of directors
Yes.
of the redevelopment authority?
That's all there can be.
Okay. I don't know, and Doug, you had said that it's gonna cost the county a lot of money, this capital case for the Pruitt murder, and I was just wondering how much money you're expecting.
You really don't know. It could be anywhere from 250 to 400,000 or more. Everybody's gonna do an outstanding job. I appreciate our DA. I mean, I'm a death penalty guy. And so we'll see where he takes it, and he's already seeking that, so I'm not gonna speak for him, but, like I said, you can't put a cost on getting justice served, especially for what happened in that.
Yeah. So, and the beauty is in our country, we have, the ability to have our district attorney prosecuting cases that need to be prosecuted. We have the ability of an accused to have the right to a defense. It's constitutionally ensconced. So we have our public defender's office working hard. Obviously, on both sides, a case of this magnitude, there's going to be more resources that need to be devoted on both sides than you would in maybe another, smaller case, whether it's a smaller felony or a misdemeanor. And so, obviously, that's what drives things. And our job as commissioners is not to get involved in the intricacies of the criminal justice system, but it is to make sure that the resources are available so that the process works the way it was intended.
Fully trust our courts too to be very mindful, and they're not gonna be wasteful, but every dime that they need, and to bring these people to justice.
And again, just to reiterate that justice doesn't come with it's not about the dollars, it's about justice being administered. The other thing I will tell you, budgetarily, and you see us constantly focusing on maintaining a good fund balance, or kind of I call it a safety net within the county. It's for these specific reasons that we do that, because you never know when one of these are going to come up. And if you don't have the money, it's a little bit more difficult. It's not that the case has to be handled through the courts, but the county has to deal with coming up with the finances to be able to provide the resources for them to do it. So that's why we pretty much insist on having a good, healthy fund balance year in and year out for these very reasons.
As the mayor knows, it's getting tougher because, all the expenses, inflation just doesn't hit the grocery store. That's all you hear about. Everything from insurances to all of it. And, for employees, with health insurance, we took 11% hit this year on that. I don't know what you guys did in SARE, but it keeps going up. But, we have our registrar of court, Sheila, here today, and, I can assure you, our department has been very mindful. If they're not, when they come to budget hearing, they're made mindful, but they all do a terrific job. But it's a tough world, so we can't afford any more money out of their pockets, and we're working hard to make sure that doesn't happen. Hey, Sheila?
Nick?
Yeah, got nothing today?
It says my life, eh?
Statement on
Oh,
voting.
good day, good morning so far.
It is a good day.
It is.
I'll close. I have a statement on voting. So just two quotations. The first is what Thomas Jefferson said: "We do not have government by the majority. We have government by the majority who participate." And by John F. Kennedy, who said, "The ignorance of one voter in a democracy impairs the security of all." The registered voters of Bradford County have 12 days in which to educate themselves about the platforms of each of the various candidates in each of the various races. We should treat that as a privilege, not a burden. Don't just take the word of talking heads on TV or TV ads. Do your own research. Ensure that your values and your interests are reflected by your chosen candidate. But don't just stop at education. Vote. Brave men and women have fought, and some have paid the ultimate sacrifice over the past almost 250 years to create and preserve a country in which you, the voter, through voting, get to have a say in the governance of the country. A country that's not controlled by ambitions or emotions or threats or violence or anything else other than the peaceful and purposeful input of its citizens. And I would also add that our elections team works diligently year-round to make sure that your ability to vote is safeguarded and that your vote will count. So please, if you are a registered voter, exercise your franchise, whether it's through mail-in voting, absentee voting, or day of voting at your precinct. Because as Dwight D. Eisenhower said, the future of this republic is in the hands of the American voter.
Well said. All right, those two gentlemen right there on the Constitution that Bobby Norris, I said this a million times, the ones I have in mouth, he won't be forgotten. With his dog, he fell 300 feet in the Huey in Vietnam, 7 days before his 20th birthday. A legal immigrant from Italy. It was my godmother. He grew up across the street from us. He gave his life for, and I like the word privilege too. It's a right, but that word privilege is important because when my Uncle Pete, who still is up in North Korea someplace, those two guys, as many throughout our country, gave the ultimate sacrifice for us to sit here today and be able to talk.
And I can't agree with you more. And I want to just add something. I hear too often, I'm sure Commissioner Miller and Commissioner McClinko hear it, is this sense that voting, I got to take a day off of work, I got to do this. I'll hold back on my emotions when I hear that. But when I think about everything that was done by men like that, women, when I look at the bayonet, of Oliver Gates from the Revolutionary War, and I think of what went into having this country, no one should be saying that it is a burden to vote. Whether if you can't make it on day of, we have mail-in, we have absentee. If you can make it on day of, please get to the polls. I don't get angry about a lot of things, and I don't get passionate like this, but this is something that is imperative for us. Please get out and vote. It is a right, it is a privilege, it is not a burden.
It's actually our responsibility.
Amen to that.
And every vote counts.
Yes.
Don't let anybody tell you that it doesn't.
Never. There are races in this Commonwealth that have been decided by a handful of votes. So if you don't think, tell it to the person who lost on that race that every person's vote didn't count, and see if they'll agree with
I
that.
think the whole presidential election was decided by less than like 40,000 votes in the last election throughout all the United States.
I won Sierra Council once on one vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fetterman was on late night show the other night. He said he won his mayoral vote, his mayoral election by one vote.
And it does have, I mean, and every vote does count. They do.
And I just, the work our elections team does,
Second to none.
don't let them do it in vain. Please get out and vote.
They're working hard too.
You don't have any idea how hard they're working.
It's incredible.
So,
I think Renee, our director, she's staying
oh,
15, 16 hours every day to get, because this is just a real historic vote, so.
thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All right, we're adjourned. Thank you very much.